We are set to go from Charlotte, North Carolina. Sellout crowd of more than 23,000. Mike Patrick and Clark Kellogg with you. James Forrest will not start for Georgia Tech. He was late for a meeting, so he is not in the starting five. Ivano Newbill will start up front. K-Swiss starting lineups. Malcolm Mackey inside. The only senior starter, the ACC's #2 rebounder at 10.4 per game. And for Mike Krzyzewski and Duke, it's Bobby Hurley running the show. The NCAA's all-time assist leader, one of the finest clutch shooters in ACC history. Did not make the first team as a unanimous choice. Somebody left him off their ballot. We need to meet this guy and show him what basketball is about.
Yeah, that's hard to fathom that he wasn't a unanimous choice.
Thomas Hill drains the three to start the game.
Well, when they beat Georgia Tech earlier this year, he went for 26. Off to a quick start here tonight.
The quickness of the Duke defense. Grant Hill in the lineup for the first time after missing 6 games with a sprained toe on his left foot.
He's guarding Barry to start out with. It'll be interesting to see how effective Hill can be. He's playing with pain, and he's also missed considerable practice time.
Travis Best, the best three-point shooter in the ACC, connects. Hits 50.3% of his shots. That's 7th best in the country.
Georgia Tech in the 2-3 zone.
Their man-to-man has really been suspect this year, hasn't it? Grant Hill trying to get him tracked early and guns one out of bounds. Actually has an extra bone in his toe, the same way his dad did. But as far as I recall, his dad never had any problem with it.
Well, he was playing on softer surfaces most of the time, too.
Yeah. Newbill to Mackey. Best, nice look inside, but the ball lost to Duke. Here comes Hurley. To Cherokee Parks. He's the best.
Looked off the defender and found Parks in the left lane. Keys for Georgia Tech, they've got to be strong with the ball, and you've got to keep Duke in the half court. You can't allow them to play transition basketball. Hurley really in the face of Travis Best early.
He just pesters you to death.
He's one of those guys that gets in your face and doesn't even have to say a word, but you know he's going to be there all night long.
Grant Hill diving after the ball. Martise Moore comes up with it. Barry has it knocked away by Cherokee Parks. Another steal. And when Duke plays defense like this, they are virtually impossible to beat.
They really are. They've got so many weapons. Hill, Thomas Hill, I'm speaking of, vastly underrated, explosive scorer. Hurley, you know he can create off the dribble. Grant Hill, a manufacturer of shots, and Cherokee Parks has been really playing well lately.
Another nice dish inside, partially blocked. Cherokee Parks has it blocked as he follows. And the thing about Duke's defense is they can keep it up for 40 minutes. That foul will be on Newbill.
Here you take a look, penetration by Hill to lane. Initial shot denied by Mackey, but because he left to block the shot, Parks was loose on the glass and then got fouled by Newbill. Rebounding also a major key for Georgia Tech. They've got to do a good job on the backboards here tonight.
Parks has been a key to this ball club, become much more aggressive the last few ball games under orders from Bobby Crimmins, Mike Krzyzewski, wanted him to shoot the ball more, be more aggressive, and he's done it. 6'3" Duke.
When Mike makes a request of players, they hop to it.
Some men's requests are other people's orders.
I like that.
Mackey, a little fall away, can't get it to fall for him. Nice dish to Mackey on the follow, can't get it again. The tip won't go. Out of bounds, out to Duke. Forrest is in the lineup. Forrest is an outstanding player who had been slumping for about 6 games. The last 2, he's gotten it back.
He's only shot 33 out of 85 in the last 6.
Hurley for 3 with a miss, but he is fouled by Forrest. The Cardinal sin, a guy like Forrest at 6'8", 255, fouling Hurley on a 3-point jumper.
Yeah, that's just something you can't do. Here you take a look. Best is screened by Lang, and then Forrest with the challenge. Got a piece of the elbow,
And you wonder, that's not a whole lot of contact, but officials will watch that. You hit a guy on the elbow, he's never going to make a shot.
Exactly. That's about advantage, disadvantage. And
Yeah.
clearly, when you touch a guy on an elbow, you've put him at an extreme disadvantage while he's shooting the basketball.
Hurley, the #3 free throw shooter in the ACC, hits the second. He'll get another. The all-time NCAA assist leader, the all-time NCAA tournament assist leader, the all-time ACC tournament assist leader. And if they had something else, he'd lead that too.
Tremendous career he's had, well, has had.
And will have.
Right. A lot of people don't, at the next level. A lot of people feel like Duke has an opportunity, if Hill gets healthy, to three-peat.
Forrest banks one home. I think with their intensity, they can play with anybody. Without a Leitner, I don't think that they can dominate teams the way they did before. Hurley, good ball movement. Thomas Hill rims a three. Barry with a rebound.
And in the absence of Hill, guys like Antonio Lang, Marty Clark have really stepped up and made significant contributions.
Barry drains the three. I feel he's the best of the brothers, and since he has come in as a starter, he has averaged 10 points a game and really given his club a lift.
He's an excellent passer. Really was a key factor when Georgia Tech beat Duke.
Grant Hill, not known for his range, misses the long shot. Georgia Tech down by one. They have the basketball. 16-10 this year for Georgia Tech. You look at their players and you say they're better than that, but they have been so young. And there's the jumper by Martise Moore, one of the youngsters who is starting to come on.
Yeah, he's got an awful lot to his game. As Tech down in the midst of a 7-zip run.
Parks, he is going to shoot it nearly every time he touches it. Lang had it knocked away, and Tech trying to run. Their best game this year was earlier against Duke when the Blue Devils were #1 and they knocked them off. They played brilliantly that night. Hurley kicks it out after good penetration. Hill with a miss. Parks with a long rebound. Nice catch, Thomas Hill. Martise Moore takes it for Georgia Tech. Moore will try a three. Line drive, spun out on him. Parks got hit in the back of the head. Wincing a little bit. Hurley calls out the play. And Eric Meek will get up and come in for Duke at the next opportunity after Mike Krzyzewski saw Parks get hit. Grant Hill baseline jumper, no. Followed by Thomas Hill. Duke has hit only 3 out of 10 field goals here in the early going.
A couple of their shots have been maybe a little quick. They went to a set play that time against the zone, and Hill able to get the missed shot on the weak side board.
Best trying to get away from defense, and he is fouled by Antonio Lang. That will be his first. And we've got a timeout with 14 minutes and 30 seconds to go. First half of play. This is the last quarterfinal of the day in the ACC, and we'll be back to Charlotte in a moment.
ESPN's Championship Week is brought to you by Volkswagen, who brings you 3 new cars engineered to recharge the human spirit. By Budweiser, the king of beers with that fresh, pure, natural taste. Nothing beats a Bud. And by McDonald's, where what you want is what you get at McDonald's today.
(11-10), Duke by 1. First half against Georgia Tech, 14:26 to go. The winner will play Clemson in tomorrow's semifinals. Forrest, nice dish to Mackey, but he missed the shot against Meek. Got his own rebound. Went up, lost it. Out of bounds to Georgia Tech.
Boy, that's 3 point-blank range shots that Mackey has missed, and I think he's hurrying his shot a little bit. You've got to be quick inside. He's 0 for 6. You've got to be quick inside, but not in a hurry.
Great dish to Newbill, partially blocked. Newbill with a follow, can't get it. And Marty Clark comes out with it and travels. And Mike Krzyzewski will have a word to say, so will Bobby Crimmins, but his is more complimentary to the officiating crew. course, a lot of speculation about Bobby Crimmins, whether this is his last year at Georgia Tech or whether he'll go back to his alma mater, South Carolina. He said nothing has been decided yet. Mackey tosses it right into the hands of Bobby Hurley. He says he will make the decision in private when this is over, and not until it's over.
Exactly, and that's the way to approach it. Everybody in this business, certainly folks that follow college basketball, know the draw that an alma mater could have. So I'm sure that he'll, at the proper time, as he said, take a look at it.
We have a scrum and a jump ball situation, and it will go to Georgia Tech. I hope for Georgia Tech that Bobby Crimmins decides to stay, because I think he has been great for that program, and I think the program's been great for him. And I think right now he's very emotional about a couple of things that have happened this year. And I hope, not denigrating to South Carolina at all, but for the ACC's sake, I hope he stays. Brian Hill into the ballgame for the first time. To Travis Best. Nice pass. And Forrest gets the deuce.
That's room service at its finest there. I mean, you catch that ball as Forrest did, you've got yourself a gimme. And here we see the zone.
Best already with 3 assists.
Actually a 1-2-2, 1-3-1.
Marty Clark and Chris Collins in, and Collins with a 3-point shot. Best hustles into the corner for the rebound. This guy will set some records before he's done. Best for 3. Mackey offensive rebound. And Hurley doing everything he can to deny Best possession of the ball. Foul away from the ball, and they've got a pushing foul, I believe, on Malcolm Mackey. Some other scores: Cincinnati and DePaul tied at 57. Tournaments will scare favorites to death. Western Michigan by 16 over Miami of Ohio. LSU big. Favorites would rather skip this tournament and go right on to the NCAA.
That's right.
Hurley for 3. Cherokee Parks with a follow.
Yeah, for favorites in postseason tournaments, it's kind of like a speed bump. You know, they want to go ahead and get to business, and
some are bigger than others.
That's right.
Hill had it slapped away by Clark on the way up. Both teams really battling when the ball goes loose. And what do we have, a foul?
I think that's it. You see Hill trying to get to the cup, loses it on the way up, and now we've got the scramble. That's Collins, Clark, Hill.
And Hill will be called for the foul. He'll come out of the ball game.
Boy, that's
an unusual call, really.
Yeah. Thanks for helping me out. I was searching for the right word.
Georgia Tech has turned it over 6 times so far. Duke 3. Collins trying to penetrate. Clark, nice drive, uses the left hand, missed the shot. Newbill with a rebound. Best trying to push it up, Hurley waiting for him. Neither team able to buy a basket here for a stretch of about 4.5 minutes.
That's the second foul on Forrest too, Mike, I think, as he was called for coming over the back.
15 foul, 2 on Forrest. We've got a timeout, 11:48 to go first half in a 1-point game. The two teams combined so far are shooting 31% from the floor. That's why we have a 13-12 game with 11:48 to go in the first half. And it's unusual for both these ball clubs because they have some guys who can knock it down.
Both of these teams shoot 49% on the year from the floor, so far below their norms here in this first half. Pretty good shots being taken, too.
Yeah.
I mean, the shots have been pretty solid shots.
Hurley, who plays about 37 minutes of ball game, running the offense. Got Collins with him.
Matchup 2-3 here by Georgia Tech. Takes on the look of a 1-3-1 at times.
Collins with a 3 out of the corner. Reading an article about him this week. The first time he beat his father in a one-on-one game, he was 14 years old. The old man would not let him win a ball game until he earned it. And he said he darn near beat him to death in that one.
Boy, Travis Best got away with a double dribble.
Picked it up, put it back down again.
Did it quick enough to where it wasn't seen.
He sold it pretty well, didn't he? Travis Best guarded by Hurley. They set a double screen trying to free him up. And Grant Hill is right there. Duke helps so well.
They really do a nice job of understanding where the basketball is. And one of the keys for them is to keep Best out of the middle. When he penetrates, he can wreak havoc on your defense.
Grant Hill has looked pretty good playing on that wheel that kept him out 6 games. Mackey muscling his way in against Parks and got away with lowering his shoulder.
Just running and groaning his way to the rack that time. Finally gets one to fall.
Duke by 2 with the basketball. Hurley, nice pass to Parks. A bullet.
The diagonal look is always available against the zone.
Barry had it blocked, but a foul on Cherokee Parks. Hurley just seems to see everything. 4 assists already.
See, on the ball reversal, the diagonal look is available. See, that ball came from the corner back to the wing, and Hurley was able to rifle it in as the defense tried to overshift to the opposite side.
And he gets it off so quick without telegraphing it. The ball just explodes out of his hand.
He's got strong hands and forearms. See, anybody that can pass that quickly and that fast, typically they have to do it from their elbow down.
1,052 career assists coming into this game. Barry hits both free throws, and it's a 2-point game again. Duke 23-6 coming in. Georgia Tech 16-10. The Yellow Jackets, like Clemson in the last game, need to do something in this tournament to get into the NCAA tournament.
A lot of people would feel that with their strength of schedule outside of the conference that they might be in anyway.
I would hope so.
Yeah, I would think so too. I mean, they played Louisville, Kentucky, UT Chattanooga now, a team that's in the tournament, so that win is a little more heavily weighted.
Hurley drains to 3. Best loses it on the way in, but last touch by Duke. Yeah, it's a quality team, and you can see at the end of the year the young kids starting to get better and better and help out Mackey. You don't think of Forrest as a young player, but he's only a sophomore.
That's right. And he's only about 50 cents and change away from 1,000 points.
Best off balance, got it anyway, and Hurley went down. 21-18.
Two-point hoop, I think, is what the distinction was there by official Sam Croft. I don't know if anybody had marked it up as a 3 or not.
I didn't see anybody but Sam Croft just thinking there was a problem. But better to be sure.
That's right.
9:24 to go first half. Hurley ran right into Cherokee Parks. Grant Hill, 17-footer, got the roll and the foul on Best. And Bobby Crimmins up saying, why? Grant Hill has looked good.
Yeah, he's moving very well. And Mike Krzyzewski got him a quick blow early in the game. Here you take a look. Pull up Jay. Hill begging for the bounce with the body English as he backpedals.
One thing about Grant Hill, you know he is not going to go out as a junior. He said he came to Duke to play there for 4 years. He made a commitment to Mike Krzyzewski, and he said Mike Krzyzewski made a commitment to him. And they are both going to honor it. You got to admire that.
Certainly do.
And I think one of the important parts is the coach saying, yeah, I'll coach you for 4 years. I'll promise you that.
Yeah, that's right.
Because that doesn't happen a lot.
That doesn't happen all the time.
Last touch, they say, by Duke. Ball out of bounds to Georgia Tech. The Jackets are down by 5 with 9:02 to go. And Bobby Hurley questions the call. Game has not had a lot of rhythm to it. Neither team has been able to get in sync, it seems.
No, it's been a little bumpy. Duke now showing a little change in defense, a 2-3 zone. Best, who loves the look of a zone with that outside touch. Forrest will try one from 17. He is so strong, Mike. I mean, you look at his body and you know that. But he's strong in his posture, too. See, strong, good balance, strong follow through. From another angle, just a nice little curl at about the foul line. Nothing but rope.
Foul was on Thomas Hill. It's his first. And Forrest completes the three-point play. Last two games coming into this one, he'd averaged 20 points and 10 rebounds.
And if you can do that 20-10 thing, put yourself on a short list.
Grant Hill helped handling the ball outside. Remember when Bobby Hurley was hurt last year? Grant Hill was the point guard for this club. Makes the catch inside.
Coach Krzyzewski told Bobby Hurley no lobs to Grant Hill tonight. Let's wait until maybe next week sometime.
Doesn't want him coming down on that sprained toe and injuring again. He already missed the 6 games. Duke has now turned it over 5 times. Unusual sloppy play for them.
I think both teams, now Duke in the man-to-man, but both teams have played considerable zone.
Best great dish to slashing Barry. Best with 5 assists. We're tied at 23. Antonio Lang looked but thought better of it. Hurley, a little pull-up jumper. Mackey rips it down. 4 rebounds for the only senior in the starting lineup. Offensive foul on Best, and Bobby Hurley had great position. The Georgia Tech fans don't like it. And neither does Travis Best. His second. And we've got a timeout with 7:39 to go. First half of play, tied at 23.
In the great Midwest, DePaul against Cincinnati. Terrence Gibson here, finding Allen Jackson, gliding to the hole. 71-63, Cincinnati is up. In the Big East, Pittsburgh is down to Syracuse 23-15. Winner gets St. John's. And in the MAC, Western Michigan looks like they'll advance, up by 13.
23-23, 7 minutes, 34 seconds to go first half. Duke with the basketball.
Well, the Georgia Tech zone has been pretty active.
Parks tried to sky to get that one, and another turnover. Drew Berry to Forrest. Nice pull-up jumper by James Forrest.
See, that's almost unlawful for him to be that big and to make those kinds of shots on the run. I mean, that is a tough shot to make when you have to stop on a dime and pull up.
He has hit all 4 of his shots, and Georgia Tech in a 7-0 run, they have the lead. Hurley for 3. How often has he done it? If you need the big shot, number 11 is the guy who has the ball and drains it. Blue Devils by 1 over the Yellow Jackets. Grant Hill, such a good defender, so smooth. Forrest over Lang. Tough shot. He's 5 for 5, and Antonio Lang played some tough D on it.
That's one where you just say, well, he made a tough shot.
Forrest averaging 18.5 points a game, closing in on 1,000 for his career after only 2 years. Lang, baseline jumper. Nice play by Hill to keep it alive. Hurley, offensive foul or no?
Nobody signaled anything.
All the officials were looking at each other. Neither would make a decision. Finally, they did. And I think Bobby Hurley got away with one.
The only guy signaling the foul as we take a look.
Oh, yeah.
Boy, Hill certainly seemed to be there. But the only guys signaling the call were the Georgia Tech guys. Yeah, I think Hill was there. Look, there you see Barry and Forrest both looking for the charge. Here it is. And then it was another 2 or 3 seconds before the determination of the call was made.
Well, 2 officials staring at each other, wondering which one had the best angle, and neither one was going to make the call.
That's one of those everybody, somebody, nobody. Everybody thought somebody was going to do it, and nobody did.
27-26, Georgia Tech by 1 with the basketball. Moore down to Mackey. Nice rebound by Grant Hill. Looks like the foot is fine. Early to Thomas Hill. Blocked, out of bounds, last touch by Parks. Mackey got a piece of it on the way up. Here's some scores for you to look at out of the Mid-American Conference and the Southwest Conference. Early, Texas Tech over Baylor. 5:26 to go in this one. Best fouled by Hurley on the way in.
Well, that was a good take by Best. So he had a quick isolation on the ball reversal there. Everybody else on the weak side was active, occupying their men, and he took Hurley right off the dribble and drew the foul.
Number 1 on Bobby Hurley. No one for Duke has more than 1. Best, nice play off the screen. Now Hurley has 2. And got him in the space of about 3 seconds. Nice fake by Travis Best. And there is a guy who has racked up some amazing numbers. Last 7 years, he has averaged 30 wins a year, taking his team to the Final Four 5 straight, 6 out of 7. Now, you have to go back to John Wooden to find stuff like that.
Those are mind-numbing numbers. When you consider that you're the target year in and year out.
Exactly. Forrest lost it on the way up. Last touch by Georgia Tech. Bobby Crimmins exhorting his team on. They're up by 1 with 5:13 to go. Bobby Hurley will get a rare rest for those 2 fouls.
Yeah, he's usually a full distance guy, averaging about 37, 38 minutes a night.
Cherokee Parks gives the Blue Devils the lead back. Lead has changed hands 8 times already in this game. Brian Hill playing with a couple of personal fouls.
So Parks and Mackey really working hard inside against each other.
Mackey comes out now trying to penetrate again. Forrest, who's been perfect from the floor, is now 6 of 6.
Not only is he perfect, Mike, but he's drawing nothing but rope. I mean, those shots are not hitting the rim at all.
And when a guy's hot like that, you want to get him the ball as often as possible.
You got to let him stroke it.
Georgia Tech by 1. This is Collins. To Grant Hill, who seems to be gaining some more confidence in that foot and makes a nice baseline move.
If the foot is not going to give him any major problems, the thing you worry about is conditioning with Grant Hill. He had a couple of good days of practice, but with the time he missed, certainly he had to lose some of his conditioning, maybe 20 to 30% of it.
Now, if you're Mike Krzyzewski, do you play him as many minutes as possible in this tournament to get him ready?
I think so, yeah. I think you've definitely got to take him to his maximum limit.
Martise Moore working on Marty Clark. Oh, Forrest lost a handle on this one. Here comes Collins. It's a 2-on-3. Pull up. Got it. Chris Collins with a 3-pointer. He has 6. 33-29. Duke by 4. And Collins has markedly improved as a defender in the second half of this year.
Well, you certainly can't play here if you don't.
Yeah, that's right. And that was the knock on the young man. They wondered if he was quick enough to play defense in this league, especially for Mike Krzyzewski, because you can't rest on defense on this club.
But sometimes you know you can compensate for quickness with anticipation. If you know where to go a step before the offensive player gets there, sometimes you can make up for quickness that way.
Travis Best lost it out of bounds, and he's certainly not drawing an easy assignment here playing against Travis Best. That is the 10th Georgia Tech turnover of the first half. They are down by 4 with 2:52 left.
In the Big East, Pitt and Syracuse, Adrian Autry, who has had a terrific year after a couple of less than average seasons, knocks down a 3-pointer there. Syracuse up 25-17 at halftime. In the WAC, New Mexico down 4 to BYU, just under 9 left. Back to Charlotte.
All right, thank you, John. It's 33-29 Duke over Georgia Tech with 2:52 to go in the first half of a very ragged game in the quarterfinals here. There has been absolutely no rhythm to this, although the teams have started to get their shooting eye back. They've hit 15 out of the last 18 shots combined.
Well, part of the bumpy flow is due to pretty aggressive defense, and then neither team really looking to transition the basketball after they defensive rebound. So it's been more of a half-court game, and typically if you're not shooting it well, as both of these teams were not doing in the first part of this half, it can have the appearance of being quite bumpy.
Thomas Hill got that last basket to make it a 6-point lead. Best inside to Newbill. He's held by Marty Clark. It'll be number 1 on Clark.
How about Missouri drumming Oklahoma State?
Some interesting stuff this week. It's amazing.
I mean, Missouri they had gotten beaten their last 5 or 6 games in the conference. I mean, they were on a downhill slope with oil on it.
Here's the shooting for both teams. 84% in the last 9 minutes.
Thank you.
2:25 to go here. A 6-point lead. Georgia Tech down by a half dozen, but with the basketball. Need to get it to Forrest. He's been perfect. 6 out of 6.
Duke now on the inbounds in the zone.
Berry for 3, missed it. Collins with a rebound. Bobby Hurley back into the ball game. Collins, nice penetration, kicks it back to Clark, who has played well the last few ball games.
Boy, the skip pass is wide open.
Collins launched a 3 and missed it. Here's a 3-on-1. Best, nice pass to Forrest. Hurley caught in a 3-on-1 break, and Best made him pay.
Let's put in a period on your sentence there.
Forrest is only 7 for 7. 14 points in the first half. He has 14 of Georgia Tech's 31.
And that's the easiest look he's had, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, everything else has been with a hand in his face and from 15 feet or so.
Parks does not look to shoot this time. There's the skip pass to Thomas Hill. Georgia Tech's had some success with his zone.
They really have, yeah. They've caused Duke some problems in terms of getting the ball inside and also getting good shots. They've been able to challenge the perimeter looks of the Blue Devils.
Here comes Best, gets it to Berry. Slashing move, kicks it back to Best for 3. The best in the ACC from long range nails another one, and it's 35-34. Travis Best has hit 2 3-pointers and has 8. 8.6 assists for Best in the first half. And this has the Georgia Tech fans up and humming. Hurley with an air ball, and somebody must have gotten a piece of that one.
Good pull out here. Travis Best calling for 1 shot. There's only about a half-second difference between the game clock and shot clock. So you want to get it down to about 8 to 9 seconds, get into your play. You want to try to get your shot off with maybe 3 to 4 seconds so you have a chance for the second shot in case you missed the first one.
But no chance for them.
That's right.
A lot of people mistime this badly.
You're exactly right. Let's see what happens here.
Berry, great dish to Mackey, and that's the way they draw it up, isn't it?
Yeah, and the official had to call time because the ball got away. Otherwise, the clock would have expired. Now 2.3, you send it the distance, you got a chance for a shot. Great penetration by Berry, and the nice, fine, good catch and finish by Malcolm Mackey.
The 11th lead change of the game with 2.3 seconds to go. Grant Hill with a desperation shot. That's the end of the first half, and Georgia Tech comes back to take the lead from Duke. The Reebok halftime report coming up. Update on Pitt and Syracuse, and today's surprise, I think there was more than one. Who's in and who's out? Coming up to the NCAA tournament. John Saunders standing by in the studio for that. Our halftime score, Georgia Tech 36, Duke 35. Let's go back and join John.
All right, Mike and Clark, thank you very much. 1-point game there in Charlotte, the final quarterfinal game of the day. Welcome to the Reebok halftime report, and let's look elsewhere now with scores and highlights, plenty of them around the nation. We'll start in the WAC. The number 3 seed New Mexico against BYU, the number 2 seed looking for their 3rd straight conference championship. And here it's been a tough one. Ike Williams on the end of this after the steal all alone jams it down for the Lobos. And right now, New Mexico hanging in there with BYU. It's a 4-point game, 45-41, just under 9 minutes remaining. We will keep you updated on this one. BYU's won 7 straight, though, in that tournament. DePaul and Cincinnati in the Great Midwest. No automatic bid here. Cincinnati wins 78-69. Nick Van Exel with another great game there. Pitt and Syracuse in the Big East. A low-scoring affair. Pitt with 17 points in the first half of this game. Syracuse with 25. Adrian Autry with 7 points in the first half there. Pitt has struggled in this tournament. Now, I know my man next to me here, Dick Vitale, has a lot to say about the fact that Syracuse is in this tournament. I'm going to start it out by saying, in a conference such as the Big East, I don't think it affects them as much because they're going to get whatever number they're going to get anyway. Syracuse is not going to take somebody else's place.
John, I can respect that, certainly what you say there. However, my feeling is this. If you're on probation, cannot play in the NCAA tournament, and yet the winner of your conference gets the automatic berth to the NCAA tournament, you should not be allowed to play. Just like Kentucky didn't play in the Southeastern Conference last year, Vegas did not play. Now, let me also bring another point. Pittsburgh struggled a little bit late in the season. Pittsburgh right now with the seeding, if Syracuse were out of the tournament, it would be 4 and 5 instead of 3 Syracuse, 6 Pittsburgh. That means they would have played Providence. Providence is hot, but here's the suggestion. Number one, Pittsburgh lost twice to Syracuse during the regular season. They matched up better than with Providence. They split with Providence. My feeling is this. Syracuse should be out, baby. Should not be in the tournament. I know about loyalty. They're one of ours. But remember this. Automatic berth to the winner goes to the NCAA tournament. They are on probation. They should be watching on a TV tube, not playing.
Coaches, of course, in case you wondered, voted Syracuse into play this tournament. They could have voted them out as well. All right, let's move elsewhere now to the Big 8. Oklahoma and Iowa State, 2-point game, 6:10 to go in the first half of this one. Tennessee and Kentucky. Tennessee, about 2 minutes into the game, got the timeout. They were down 8-0. It's now 14-0 in this one, playing on Kentucky's home floor. MCC, Butler and Evansville, 20-16. Evansville and Purple Aces may need this one to get into the NCAA tournament. Southwest Conference, it's been a wild day there. Texas Tech all over Baylor right now. 30-19 is the score in the first half. Weber State and Boise State in the Big Sky, 21-16, 5-point game, 6 minutes left in the first half. Back with more on Championship Week in a moment. More scores and highlights and more Dick Vitale if you can take it.
ESPN's Championship Week is brought to you by Payne Weber. We believe our most important investment is an investment in relationships. And by the new Subaru Impreza. Subaru, what to drive.
Oklahoma and Iowa State in the Big 8, 2-point contest, 30-28. Oklahoma may need this one. Despite 19 wins, 500 record, they still may have someone to impress. Meanwhile, New Mexico still leads BYU with just over a minute left.
ESPN's Championship Week is brought to you by the great taste of Diet Pepsi. You've got the right one, baby. And by Gillette and the Gillette $1 million 3-point challenge promotion. Look for details in your Sunday paper.
Georgia Tech by a point at the half, 36-35 over the Blue Devils of Duke. We were talking earlier in the broadcast about Duke's record, or Georgia Tech's record this year. They've lost 10 times, 7 teams in the top 12. There is the first half statistics. And Georgia Tech, after a slow start, shooting 58% from the floor.
Yeah, they really got it going in the second part of the first half.
James Forrest, the only player on the floor in double figures. He has 15 points. Barry pushes it up. Parks got a hand on it, intended for Mackey. Hurley back the other way. Thomas Hill, touch pass. Grant Hill back to Hurley for 3. Nice rebound by Moore, and Thomas Hill with the interception. Tries to throw the lob, picked off by Georgia Tech.
Well, Georgia Tech had 10 turnovers in that first half already, too. And one of the keys for them is to minimize those turnovers. If you shoot a great percentage and you turn it over too much, you negate your good shooting.
That's the reason they were only up by a point. Forrest finally missed a shot, and Hurley skies a rebound. Bounce pass tipped, but Thomas Hill comes up with it, and Hurley will shoot another 3. Top of the circle, you can put it in the book.
Basket by number 11, Bobby Hurley.
38-36, Duke by 2. Mackey tough dish, and Forrest makes sure this time.
Rebounded by 34, James Forrest.
Forrest with 17 points.
He's some kind of player.
Thomas Hill. Mackey got a hand on it, and Martise Moore will come down with it.
You know, talking about Forrest, I think he often is overlooked when you talk about the forwards in this competition.
You're right.
There's so many good ones. I mean, Grant Hill, Rodney Rogers, Doug Edwards. And then Forrest sometimes doesn't get mentioned, and he does a lot of the same things those other guys do.
Martise Moore with a miss, Cherokee Parks with a rebound. You're absolutely right about that. I think he is an exceptional player. Offensive foul. Antonio Lang a little out of control, and Travis Best stood his ground.
Called number 21, Antonio Lang, is second.
You take a look early on the penetration. Going to leave it for Lang, and then Best just stands in and takes the charge. Martise Moore made a good play on the basketball.
Best out of Springfield, Massachusetts, where the Basketball Hall of Fame is.
Primarily man-to-man through a zone at Georgia Tech on a few possessions in that first half.
Forrest, nice move to get inside and got it over Cherokee
Basket by
Parks.
34, James Forrest.
Nine out of 10 from the floor for Forrest. Parks, much more aggressive offensively in the last third of the season. Missed that one. Best, nice fake, too nice, walked.
I think Best probably walked there, but sometimes you'll see that move made and the officials will anticipate that walk. When in fact it may not have occurred, but I think that time he did shuffle the feet before he put it on the floor.
Brian Hill coming back into the ballgame. Georgia Tech is so young. Moore a freshman, Malcolm Mackey the only senior out there, Forrest a sophomore, Best a sophomore, Drew Berry is a redshirt freshman, Hill off the bench, the other senior on this ball club. Collins is in for Duke.
And Bobby Crimmins only plays 7 guys, so you wonder about Duke being able to throw a few more bodies at you, whether they can wear down Georgia Tech.
Never had much depth. Mackey with his head up, and he'll draw the foul. Mackey, smart play, ran the floor, was looking for the ball the entire time.
Chris Collins imploring Lang. Just a little tap on the back of the dome.
And Lang was the one who didn't have his head turned and picked up his 3rd personal foul.
Well, you've got to see the orange running to the goal on offense, and certainly when you're running back to defend your goal, you've got to see the ball.
Mackey, a 66% free throw shooter. He had hit 24 of his last 29 coming in. (41-38). Georgia Tech by 3. 16:40 to go in the ballgame. Mike Patrick and Clark Kellogg with you from the ACC in Charlotte, North Carolina. Grant Hill, great head fake, dumps it off for Parks. He wasn't ready for it. Berry tries the no-look pass, has it knocked away. Mackey, nice spin move, but Parks is there. When you start that far away from the basket against Duke, you very rarely get there because there's another defender in your face.
Exactly. Malcolm Mackey makes the spin move, but he's off balance, and he was shooting that ball on the way down, and that's why Parks was able to get the easy block.
He's only hit 2 out of 8 from the floor. Occasionally, Mackey disappears for the Yellow Jackets. And that really hurts when there's a guy that you count on who averages 16 points and 10 rebounds a game.
Yeah, you need his numbers night in and night out.
Hill, who's had a tough season. Good pass to Mackey. Brian Hill in the mold of a lot of Georgia Tech guards. Very strong upper body. And it's 43-38. Tech on a 7-0 run. They split the season series. This zone has been very good for Georgia Tech. Collins on the skip pass for 3. Got the bounce. Chris Collins with his 3rd three-pointer of the night, all 9 points coming on long-range shots. Hill didn't want the long-range shot. Collins falling down, got a piece of it. They kept it alive, and here's Hurley waiting for some help. It's Collins for 3.
A nice job by Hurley to get to the middle of the floor to give Collins that right lane for the spot up 3.
Understands the game, doesn't he? Technically, he is just a marvelous player, not counting the great spirit and intensity that he has. And Hurley hustling down, and he is clobbered. Martise Moore got him with a hip, knocked him down, and Hurley bounces right back up.
Never wants to show any weakness, always looking to get right back into the mix, coming right at you. Moore finds the ball late and just makes sure that Hurley can't get it up and down. Good hard fall. Actually, a good hard foul, rather, and also a good hard fall by Hurley, too.
Hurley, 12 points, 5 assists. He's hit 3 out of 4 free throws. He's a lot like Mark Price in this league. A lot of people said, well, he won't be able to play in the NBA. No, of course not. Just an all-star. And Bobby Hurley will be able to play at that level. You start a league, Bobby Hurley can play in it, I guarantee you.
Well, he's got such great quickness, and we've talked about his feel for the game and his understanding of the game. And he's been a winner throughout his career.
14:44 left in this one. We're tied at 43.
This is now final. New Mexico wins by 9 over BYU, 68-59. Their 23rd win of the season. And Dick, a lot of people don't realize what a year New Mexico has had. We actually felt they were in anyway.
Oh, yeah, John. I just got the latest RPI ratings. Hey, they're 23rd on here. They're in. The Lobos are in. In. Stock up.
If there was any question, they're in after the win against BYU. Back to the ACC.
Thank you, John. That's all I can do is shake my head, too. It's 43-43 with 14:44 to go in the ballgame. The winner will take on Clemson tomorrow in the semifinals. Georgia Tech is out rebounding Duke 23-14.
Well, that was one of their keys in addition to turning the ball over as few times as possible. They failed in that area.
Hurley on the run. Pull-up jumper short. Eric Meek tries to save it and does, but picked off. Nice anticipation by Forrest. Ivano Newbill, number 33, into the ball game. Mackey was wide open in the lane, got it over Meek, scores, and he's fouled.
Boy, did he present himself nicely there. Gave a good target hand, a strong, aggressive flash to the middle of the paint, and then the finish.
You don't see people with that kind of position in the lane against Duke very often.
Well, here he gets sweet real estate, and then a nice little jump hook, and there's the bump by Meek.
Mackey, the #1 career rebounder for Georgia Tech, #8 all-time in the ACC.
33.
Also the #9 scorer. He's had quite a career without a lot of publicity.
Really has.
45-43 as we approach the 14-minute mark. Thomas Hill lost control, got it back, then had it blocked. Forrest, nice outlet to Best. 2-on-2. Look at Hurley. Picked him up, and then Best got a great move to get around him. Hurley ahead to Grant Hill. Nice catch. Contact, lost it out of bounds. It will be out to Duke. Boy, now you know Duke fans, when Grant Hill went up like that and came down, everybody was holding their breath.
Take a look at this move by Travis Best. Little spin move. That's as sweet as it gets in transition one-on-one.
Best 10.6 assists in this game. A 4-point Georgia Tech lead. Screen for Hurley. Can't get the shot. Good job by Forrest to step out there.
See, against the zone, the skip pass will be available, and you've got to step up ready to shoot it, or you have to get dribble penetration.
Grant Hill lost it to Mackey. Mike Patrick and Clark Kellogg with you from the ACC Tournament in Charlotte, North Carolina. Barry with Collins on him. Forrest goes to the baseline, double clutch, spun out. Newbill kept it alive, and Mackey is fouled. And Malcolm Mackey has come alive here in the second half.
He certainly has awakened. And you know he's been a tremendous rebounder throughout his career. And here's some outstanding glass work. Rounding out by Forrest, and then Newbill keeps it alive, and there's Mackey. Right place, right time, and then Strong to the cup.
Nicely officiated game today. John Moreau, Larry Rose, and Sam Croft. Always get good crews down here.
Outstanding.
Mackey with 10 points and 8 rebounds. Missed the second one, and Parks with a rebound. 48-43 as we hit 13 minutes to go. This is Georgia Tech's biggest lead.
Mackey giving Grant all kind of room.
Yep. Goes down the lane, tough off-balance shot, and hits it. I think he's back.
Oh, that's a difficult shot going against your body like that.
Only 6 points for Grant Hill tonight. Averages 18 a game. Travis Best for 3. That's his third bomb, and it's 51-45. Georgia Tech, its biggest lead of the ballgame.
He gets such great lift on his shot, Mike. He's so strong for a small player.
Great dish to Parks, and he's fouled by Mackey. Now, both of these teams coming out of their slumber in the first half.
Nice look by Grant Hill. You see him looking away to where he wanted to make that pass, and then Parks Strong to the glass.
Parks in his last 7 games, 16 points, 8 rebounds a game. And that's what has made this a better basketball team with the injury to Grant Hill. Mike Krzyzewski said a couple of weeks ago, if Grant comes back healthy, we could be a lot better team than we were before he got hurt.
It'll take another game or two to work him back into the lineup. See, sometimes guys have a tendency to step back when one of their stars comes back from an injury.
Duke picking up the defensive intensity. Martise Moore to the baseline, cut off by Parks. Parks on the run with a rebound ahead to Hurley. Nice move by Hurley. Tough catch by Hill. Lang made a tough catch. And now Hurley will take it back out to reset with 11.5 minutes to go. Duke down by 3. Grant Hill with a runner. Nice rebound to Ivano Newbill. Mackey didn't want the 15-footer. Newbill kicks it back outside. Berry for 3. Long rebound to Mackey. Best now being guarded by Thomas Hill. Here's the switch with Antonio Lang.
Well, they're really conscious of Best. Everybody knows where he is, and everybody's ready to leave their man if he gets beat.
Mackey. Oh, what a pretty move. First he was going to go for the jam, then he thought it might be blocked, double clutch, and dropped it in.
Improvisation midstream.
He's had a sensational second half.
Been very aggressive and fruitful. He needs a blow, too. He's asking Bobby Crimmins to get him out.
And Forrest is up off the bench. There's the story in the paint. It's been Georgia Tech tonight.
But we're in the timeout zone, so Malcolm should be able to hang out there until the next dead ball.
Grant Hill misses the shot from the baseline, and the foul underneath on Antonio Lang. That is his 4th. .05 left to go in the game. Georgia Tech continues to lead Duke. The spread is 5.
7 and 11 in the conference this year, but leading UNLV 32-26. It's been that type of day. In the Big 8, Oklahoma and Iowa State, very nip and tuck with under 16 to go. Back.
Thank you, John. 7 minutes, 56 seconds to go here in the 4th of the 4 quarterfinals in the ACC. Georgia Tech was leading it by 6, cut to, or excuse me, now they've got it up to 8 points.
Caught the Devils napping. Forrest got an alley-oop on the baseline from Berry.
And Mike Krzyzewski will not be happy about that.
Those are big bonuses when you score on your OB plays, your out-of-bounds plays. You know, you get a couple of those and make them hoops for you. They can loom large in a tight game.
7:27 to go in the game. Hurley working against Berry. Best has Collins on him.
I would think Best might try to take Collins off the dribble.
Collins came over the top. Looked like he had a good block, but they ruled it got him with the body.
Here you take a look at Best. Collins in pretty good position, but a little shake, and then he's going to lift him, get underneath him. Collins tried to go behind and pluck it away, but got a lot of body.
Travis Best, 8 assists to go with 13 points. Had to step in for Kenny Anderson when he went pro early. And Bobby Crimmins just reloaded at point guard.
It's not a bad reload, is
no. 61-51, the biggest lead of the ball game. Georgia Tech bidding to move into the semifinals. And Duke has to pick up the intensity a little bit.
Yeah, they need to make some shots. They've got to spot up and make some shots now.
And we've got a foul on Best. That will be his 3rd.
Only the 3rd team foul. So Georgia Tech can continue to be aggressive defensively and not be in any danger of sending Duke to the line for a while.
And that's unusual. Duke usually makes more free throws than the other team's attempt, and Thomas Hill knocks down a 3. Cut the lead to 7. There are some big-time players on that Blue Devil team who make the big-time shots when you need them. Mackey. Forrest lost control. Good hustle by Hill to get it back.
Well, that's a good 2-man play, though, between Mackey and Forrest. When Mackey catches it inside, to look at Forrest at the foul line.
Best against Hurley, and he'll draw the foul.
Hurley.
Bobby had better watch.
That's
too.
right.
You don't go flipping your arm like that at the official.
Well, I don't know if obviously the official didn't see it or elected to ignore it, one of the two.
Well, he was really bad about that as a freshman. You know,
he's made tremendous improvement.
He sure has. Sure has. And when you're that intense, sometimes it's the kind of thing you do. But Hurley has managed to keep himself under control and become a better player for it.
And that's a credit to him. I mean, because the game is so emotional. I've never been one to agree with emotion being an excuse for carelessness, whether it be in conduct or how you play.
That's a good point.
But some guys, because of their personality, have to work harder at keeping their emotions under wraps. And certainly that was the case with Bobby Hurley, and he's done a fantastic job.
And he's certainly been able to channel it to his advantage. 63-54. Georgia Tech by 9. 6:25 to go in the game. Grant Hill for 3. Not very often will Grant Hill take that shot. 0 for 8 this year coming into the ball game.
Well, he's grimacing a little bit, but he's the marquee guy, and he's got to step up and try to make big plays for his team.
Ball out of bounds. Last touch by Duke. 6:04 left. A 6-point lead. Blue Devils trying to turn it up a notch here and get back in the ball game.
Georgia Tech has to be careful here not to try to sit on this lead. They've got to continue to be aggressive and find the guys that have gotten them the lead. Forrest and Best has been a factor here late.
And Duke makes it hard for you to sit on the lead, too. They come after you so hard. Shot clock's at 13. And now Best and Hurley will go one-on-one.
This is a good matchup. Hurley rarely gets beaten off the dribble.
Best got it back. Hurley had done a great job denying him. A lot of contact. Offensive foul. Best. Bobby Hurley just hustled and hustled to get in position. 4 on Travis Best. I don't know why he gave it up with 10 seconds to go on a shot clock.
Exactly. Here we'll take another look. That's 2 offensive fouls called on Best. Let's take a look. He got that chicken wing out there. So if you get that chicken wing out there away from your body, typically it'll be whistle. You got to keep that thing tight to your body.
Bobby Hurley doesn't look quick, but he is.
He rarely gets beaten off the dribble. That's one of the things that's impressed most of the pro scouts I've talked to about him, is that he's so quick and he rarely is beaten off the dribble. He's always in good position. Has great feet. 63-57. Best has to go to the bench with 4 personal fouls. We'll see how long Bobby Crimmins leaves him there. Grant Hill maneuvering for his shot, has the bucket, and he's fouled by Mackey. A chance for back-to-back three-point plays. When you talk Grant Hill, you talk versatility. And right now, the last 2 possessions, you've seen him assert himself more. And that's one of the things that Mike Krzyzewski wants him to do. When you've got the package that he has, you've got to make these kind of plays. And that's a wonderful individual move there. Hill, a 75% free throw shooter. You know, he missed 6 games and has only practiced a few times and has been chomping at the bit to get back into a game situation and environment, and now really trying to step on it here late in the game. Picks up the foul on the press, and this will be a 1-and-1. Duke has committed 18 fouls in the second half. Georgia Tech only 5. And Mike Krzyzewski getting in his money's worth against the officials right now. 1:15 to go in that ball game. Pitt and Syracuse fighting it out. Iowa State with the lead. UNLV with a minute and a half to go in the first half with the lead. Mackey at the line, 12 points, 10 rebounds. He's been especially strong in the second half. And both teams have shot free throws very well tonight. Georgia Tech now 10 out of 12 as a team. Duke is 8 out of 11. See, and in the first 2 meetings, Duke was plus 31 in free throw attempts. So Georgia Tech doing a nice job to negate that advantage. It's been hung tantalizingly on the rim for a long time. Here come the Blue Devils, down by 4 as we hit 5 minutes. Barry out on Hurley. Parks. They want him to put it up when he touches it within 12 feet of the basket, and Cherokee Parks has been doing just that. 64-62. The Duke fans now on their feet. Well, you can't afford to pick up your dribble before you're ready to make a pass against Duke because of their intense man-to-man pressure. And Bobby Crimmins wanted to cut off the run. He used one of his timeouts to stop the clock with 4:36 to go, trying to protect a 2-point lead. Back in a moment.
Winner of this one gets St. John's. Will it be Pitt or Syracuse? Well, Mike Hopkins burying a 3-pointer as Cuse still has the lead by 3. In Oklahoma State, Iowa State. This one a 4-point contest with 12 left.
John, we have 4:36 to go in this one, and Duke has cut into a 10-point lead. They've cut it to 2.
Grant Hill has had a huge hand in that deficit reduction.
Bobby Hurley tonight, 7 assists, no turnovers.
Like he averaged, what, 13 or 14 assists in the last 5 games.
A little scary. Barry for 3. Hurley with a rebound, and he's fouled by Mackey.
Boy, Mackey just fell right on top of Drew Barry. See how quickly he gets. Okay, everybody seems to be all right.
And we're not sure about Barry yet. 4 on Malcolm Mackey. And Georgia Tech getting in some foul trouble with Best already having 4. Bobby Crimmins would feel much more comfortable with another win on that record. He's 16-10 right now. Of course, there have been years when he had 22 wins and was worried about getting into the tournament. Coaches are never satisfied. Duke on an 11-3 run. Have a chance to tie or take the lead right here. Thomas Hill forced it up. Crashed the boards for his own rebound and stepped on the baseline. Antonio Lang was the last one to touch it.
Now here Georgia Tech has to be strong with the ball, meet the passes, and keep your bounce alive until you're ready to make a move or make a pass.
Barry brings it up against Grant Hill. They'll have a tough time getting it to Best because he's being fronted by Hurley.
And Hurley just denying him the basketball. And Best has to be careful not to use his hands and pick up that 5th foul.
Exactly.
Good move here to let Barry handle it.
Forrest hasn't been heard from in a while, has he?
No, he hasn't gotten a look. Thomas Hill is actually Antonio Lang on Forrest right now.
Shot clock at 7. Finally got it to Best. He's triple teamed. Back to Barry. A 3 that's partially blocked. And the shot clock runs out, but they say play on. Good officiating job by John Moreau. Even though the buzzer goes off, you don't stop the game under those circumstances because Duke had the ball.
Exactly. The defense got the possession.
Once again, a chance to tie or take the lead. And the jumper out of the corner by Grant Hill. We're tied at 64.
How big has he been?
There's Mickey Krzyzewski, the coach's wife, who has seen all the glory in the last few years, still nervous all the time. Best with the jumper. The tip by Mackey won't go. Forrest is fouled.
Well, what a great play by Mackey to go over the top without fouling, keeping that ball alive. Grant Hill looking to his teammates saying somebody's got to block out.
And I think the foul's on Antonio Lang. If it is, it's his 5th. And he will foul out of the ball game scoreless with 2 rebounds.
Here's Grant pulling the trigger on the deuce. The Krzyzewski clan.
Tough to be a coach, tough to be a coach's wife. A lot of emotion involved in it many times a year. Mike Krzyzewski in a similar situation as Bobby Cremins is now. He was offered several quality jobs to leave Duke and made the decision to stay. Been wonderful for college basketball, wonderful for his program. Bobby Cremins now facing that same kind of decision with an offer supposedly on the table from South Carolina, his alma mater. Forrest, big night, 25 points, misses the free throw. Mackey with a rebound.
Well, Marquise Moore kept that thing alive.
Drew Barry. And sometimes keeping the ball alive is even more important than a rebound.
You're exactly right. That one paid huge dividends.
66-64 Georgia Tech. We near the 2-minute mark. I thought Hurley was going to fire there, and I'll guarantee you if he takes a 3, it'll go in. Hill to Collins. Shot clock at 17 seconds. Parks, very aggressive inside over Forrest.
Well, that was excellent spacing that time to give Parks the room he needed inside, and now they want to tighten it up defensively.
Cherokee Parks has 16 points. Best against Hurley. What a screen by Mackey. Holy cow.
Nobody got up and talked to Hurley, but just as quickly as he went down, he was back up.
Tough kid. And a timeout called by Georgia Tech. Mackey stepped out to the top of the circle. Bobby Hurley never saw it coming. Ouch. .124 to go in the game. The Devils and the Jackets tied at 66.
ESPN's Championship Week is brought to you by the people of Nike, who encourage you to just do it. And by Paramount Pictures' Fire in the Sky, now playing at theaters everywhere, rated PG-13.
.124 to go in the game. The Devils and the Jackets tied at 66. Georgia Tech Shot clock is at 10. It did not recycle for the timeout. Forrest, who has been on fire the entire game, hits again. Forrest has 27 points.
If he feels your body, he's going to get his shot off on you because he's too strong for you to challenge him if he knows where you are.
Mike Krzyzewski will take a timeout with 1:03 to go in the game. All Forrest has done is hit 13 out of 15 shots from the floor, and only one of those was a dunk.
See, take a look. See, he feels Grant Hill and then just creates spacing with that strong body of his, and he's displayed a wonderful touch tonight.
.103 to go in the game. We'll be back in a moment. What? Georgia Tech by 2, a minute to go in the ball game. James Forrest, who was disciplined at the beginning of the game, sat out the first 2:22 because he was late for a meeting, has 27 points. He ought to be late more often. Thomas Hill. Parks wanted the ball inside, had a good position against Forrest.
Yeah, I think you got to go inside to him or give it to Grant Hill. Hurley also can create for himself or a teammate, so you've got plenty of options, but this is a guy who's been responsible for Duke getting back in.
Hurley calls the play. Hill dishes it to Thomas Hill. Puts it up, had it partially blocked. Mackey with a basketball, and he's fouled with 23.4 seconds to go.
And you take a look at Hill. Nice find, although I think I'd like to see Grant Hill look to shoot that one. Thomas Hill challenged and denied by Forrest and Mackey. Then a strong in-traffic rebound.
Mackey has had a big second half. Excuse me, Clark. 13 points, 13 rebounds, 4 block shots, but he's hit only 3 out of 7 from the free throw line.
That hurts. The free throw game, often the game within the game. And the Yellow Jackets haven't really capitalized as well as they needed to. There's a big 2 misses.
They had struggled all year, but then in their last 10 games, they shot over 75%. Bobby Crimmins thought they were out of that.
Well, you wonder if Duke will shoot the 3 here. Hurley's got that kind of mentality.
For 3. Won't go. Mackey with a rebound with 5 seconds left. He's fouled again. Thomas Hill went for the shot that could have put them ahead.
Well, I like that, though. Play to win it. That's a good shot from a good 3-point shooter. And now
Mackey will go to the line again where he just missed 2. He's 3 out of 8, and there's still time on the clock, 5.7 seconds.
Well, Mackey's certainly thinking about the 2 he's missed just prior to these 2, so it's not a gimme that he's going to make either one of these.
If he makes both, it's over. If he makes one, it can still be tied. If he doesn't make either, they can still lose. And look at the Georgia Tech bench.
Mike Krzyzewski told his team to make sure they block out.
Mackey has hit 1 of 4. It's a 3-point game. Here's Hurley to Collins for the tie. Rimmed out. And Georgia Tech has won 2 out of 3 against Duke this year. And the Yellow Jackets, if there was a doubt, have probably just put themselves in the NCAA tournament with their 17th win. Big night for Bobby Crimmins. And James Forrest had a sensational game for Georgia Tech.
Yeah, he was outstanding. Only missed a few shots and came up big when they needed it. Actually got the game-winning field goal.
And hit 13 out of 15 field goals. Here's Collins' shot at tying it up.
You can't do it any better than this for a last shot. And this thing's halfway down before it pops out. But that's excellent execution on the last 2 possessions by Duke to give themselves a chance to send the game into overtime. See, he thought it was down. Look at his face. He thought it was in the bottom of the goal.
The good news for the Duke Blue Devils is that Grant Hill played for the first time in 7 games, seemed to play quite well, did not favor the foot, and the Krzyzewski clan watching that last shot They haven't lost many in the last few years, and they don't like the way it feels. Duke will fall to 23-7. Georgia Tech increases its lead to 17-10. They'll play Clemson in the semifinals tomorrow. For Clark Kellogg and our entire crew, this is Mike Patrick. Thanks for watching, everybody. Back to John Saunders.
All right, Mike and Clark, thanks a lot. Duke is a team that has struggled at times. Georgia Tech has knocked them off earlier this season. They do not intimidate people the way they have over the last couple of years.
Well, certainly last year they were a knockout team. They were the best team in America. This year they're a team that's had to struggle a little bit because of the injuries. As Mike said, the great news is Grant Hill will get back. They'll have a week now to get ready for the postseason for the NCAA. Don't count them out. But I thought the last two possessions, the possession before Collins shot the three, I thought Hurley should have been looking for his shot or go to Grant Hill when Thomas Hill took that three. But remember this, Barry made a great play on the end there to rush at Collins and made him shoot the NBA three as opposed to the college three.
Let me ask you quickly, though, what do you think about Thomas Hill taking the three for the win? As a coach, is that the shot you want, or would you rather pound it in, go up, hope for the two and a tie, and maybe get fouled, too?
John, if you can get the three-point shot within the realm of your offense and you don't break the rhythm of your offense, it's a good shot. He had a good look at the basket. You go in for two and tie it and go to OT, certainly if the two-point shot's there. I don't really question the shot. I just would have preferred basically to see Hurley take it because he's such a consistent guy late in the game.
All right, let's look elsewhere now, Dick, while we have some time for a little bonus coverage here. We'll check in the Big East, where Pittsburgh faced Syracuse. Winner of this game going on to face St. John's, and it is Syracuse, a team on probation. They cannot go to the NCAA tournament, but they do advance. 55-50 is the final there. Adrian Autry with 19 points. In the Big 8, Oklahoma losing to Iowa State. Just over 4 minutes left there, 57-51. We will keep you updated, or SportsCenter will. Meanwhile, in the Southwest Conference, Texas Tech and Baylor, 7-point game, under 9 minutes remaining. For a little bonus coverage, let us take you out now to the Southwest Conference and find out, is Texas